Welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 145, all around the world in a day. And we're back. Got a special guest, Miss Jade Gold is in the house. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We are so glad you're here to join us. Look, disclaimer now. Hopefully the way you feel about us now is the same way you feel about all of us by the time the show's over with. Especially one of us, but we'll get to that part. Okay, we got comments already. Who was? Okay. See, already. Okay, Quintapa, welcome. So look, real quick, fellas. You know when we lose someone, we always start off the show with a dedication. So I would like to dedicate this show to Chocolate. This hits home. This is very close. Dear friend of mine I haven't seen in a while, but when I got the news, devastating. So, for some reason when I heard this, I thought about CB, and I mean his love for tacos. CB was one of your faves.
This was definitely one of those that you never had all that often. But when you did, it was kind of like it was an event. So, there was no doubt that you knew this was one of my favorites.
Hey, does it hit home? Does this hit home?
Yeah, this is definitely this is one of those that let's just call it was a hood favorite, and it's definitely already rubbing people the wrong way. It feels like our generation, if I can say that, being that we like they tried to take the Twinkies away from us. They
brought that back though. They tried.
Right. Now here's the thing, right? With Choco Taco, they said that it was so much of a demand that's the reason why they had to discontinue it.
That's like the Mexican pizza.
What kind of business model is that? There's too much demand.
Jade, have you partaken of a Choco Taco at some point?
Look, let me tell you, this was like stocked up in the house on regular rotation, with the tangerine push up,
Oh my gosh. Yep.
I just wanted to bring in the nostalgia. But I have learned how to master this. I make these from scratch now. Like for my son,
you don't say.
A waffle maker, I have it down pat. I put in my Nutella, put in some Bluebell. Look, let me tell you, I think I have the new Choco Taco. Like seriously.
Oof. Chuck Claggett, you ever had a Choco Taco? You make your way to the store and get like the last. There's probably got to be a couple boxes left, if that. But yeah, you make your own. I'm stunned by that. That sounds amazing. And I'm on keto, so I can only imagine.
Look, I'm gonna start figuring out how to dry freeze those and get them shipped out. I think I got a whole nother business. I'm just saying.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, how long do you think before they bring this back? Because it's going to be, they bring everything back. The Twinkies went away, but that came back. Mexican pizza went away, but that's back. So I can only imagine the demand is that high. I mean, it would have to be back at some point.
I think they get rid of stuff like this just so they can have a resurgence. I mean, it's not like we're on a shortage of soft serve ice cream and taco shells.
Right, exactly. Good point. So, fellas, how's your week going thus far?
It's been good, man. Just feels like it's been all 4 days worth, been at least at our job. There's just been plenty of stuff going on. So
plenty.
Yeah,
and it's still going because I definitely didn't finish what I was supposed to do because I figured this was kind of important to do. So luckily, I'm sure Ted isn't watching this. So
look, at least y'all didn't have COVID. I had COVID. Again, recently? 4th time. No, I haven't tested negative yet.
Oh man! Well, this is the times we're living in. This is what it is. We're back at work 3 days a week, and they try to space everybody apart, but it happens. You get that little email, you come in close contact with somebody in your group. Here's your dates to do this, do that, and pay attention. I mean, it is. Look, it is what it is. And I think we were talking about this, CB, like trying to figure out now what the mask etiquette is, because we definitely got lax around there. And I know elevators are definitely elevators and bathroom enclosed. I'll definitely wear the mask then. But like at my desk, I'm not, because we're so spaced out. But whatever. Go ahead, Ian.
It doesn't matter. Like I think I've had every variant. Yeah, I have. Like from the inception, like intubated all the way through, this one, and every time it's been different. It's been different. And I'm vaxxed, I'm boosted, the whole nine. So on the planes, I'm traveling. I've traveled through COVID, and it's if you're gonna wear it, wear the mask everywhere. But if you're not, you're open, right?
Right.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into we're back to no days in the office, right? So
again?
Yeah, right. Because remember, it was a couple of weeks ago I was telling y'all that we went from I think it was like they wanted us like 4 days out of the month, and then that became something totally different. But we get that running email of how many people that come in the office that have been tested positive, and I think we had like 6-7 straight days where people were like coming in, and we had a work kind of a conference with the tech team, and literally they were like, what's the point of us wearing masks at the tech conference in the job when we're done working, we gonna all go to this restaurant and be in the same vicinity of each other with no mask on. So it's like, kind of at that point you're just like, well, where are we at with this? So
right. And used to be, before all this, I think we talked about this, when you see people mask on, you always look funny. I'm like, what the hell are they wearing a mask? And now it's like, if you see somebody without one, like, why the hell aren't they wearing a mask? Especially like public transportation. Like I think I've taken Metro once since we returned back to work. And I was like, yep, that's all you need right there. Back to the old car. I'd rather sit in
nobody's
traffic.
wearing it on a plane. On a plane of 200-300 people, there might be 2 people on there with a mask. None of the flight attendants have it on. None of the pilots have it on. So it's like, what difference does it make?
Right. Well, and and that was the whole issue. Another thing too, where you would see all these fights break out on planes because people didn't want to wear, when it was mandated, people didn't want to wear masks, and you'd be midair, you have to, take somebody down. It's crazy what
I've been on those flights.
And before pandemic, people would always, what you have, airborne, because you're bound to get sick on a plane regardless, mostly because it's all mixed in there. Yeah. But all right. Y'all ready? Let's wrap. Let's get to it. All right. So this one's for you. Bishop is it Lamar, whatever, Whitehead. His name's not important because the story is much bigger than the name at this point. I don't know if they were at they were live streaming a sermon or a church service when he was robbed on camera in front of, I don't know how many people were in the church itself, but on camera itself, he was robbed. And it's kind of made airways because like over $1 million worth of jewelry was taken between he and his wife. Now, that right there alone is a loaded statement, because I think we had a conversation about Creflo Dollar a couple weeks ago and where the money in the church was going, or tithes. So the fact that this pastor is wearing $500,000+ worth of jewelry, whatever. So, but if you haven't seen the video, allow me.
What you about to go through? Yo. All right. Yo, all right.
Now, I'm going to say it. Here comes the conspiracy theorist in me right now. That we can all go around the room. Now, I'm going to show it one more time. It was only a couple seconds long. So, Did you notice the main thing in this video? The guy on the left didn't move at all. Now, if guys are coming in full blade with guns, robbing, wouldn't you hit the ground? This guy didn't move at all, like he wasn't phased. Like it was an inside job. I'm just making this up. It could be, very well. I mean, because some shady stuff about the pastors come out recently too, where it could all be for clout. It could all be for views. But take a look at this guy on the left-hand side of the room. He's just sitting there, not
you about to go through. Yo. All right. All right. Yo, all right.
nothing. So,
Man, I got all kind of commentary.
so yeah, let's start with that. We'll start with that. Then I'll tell you what else has come out in the past couple 24 hours about this pastor. You want to start, Jade?
Look, I'm gonna give up the ghost here. So I, I used to be married to a pastor, and so I did the whole first lady thing. But the first thing that really stuck out to me about this whole scene is the cheesy background, and what it looks like is like they're in one of those shopping plaza kind of churches. All right, so if you're still in a shopping plaza, you know, that means your church is struggling, that you didn't have the money for the building fund. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I looked at the aesthetics of everything. And if you and your first lady are wearing $500,000+ of jewelry in your church service, all I can say is, y'all know where your tithes and offerings are going. Amen.
I'm just, I mean, all right. And now to the PK. We're getting it all around. Go ahead. Come on.
Yeah, appreciate you. Listen, Jade hit it on the nail. Like, it's one of those things that there's no way, and we'll preface it because he just said it. My pops is a pastor for 40+ years. We don't even, he don't play that. He's not flashy. And one of the things is, like she said, you're not wearing that stuff and the church isn't up to par. You're talking about certain things that come first. The church is supposed to come first, and clearly his pockets, their way of life, him, showing up I guess he was in a Lamborghini. He's got you got people that are struggling at the church. Yeah. That's not the place for you to flaunt money when, like I said, and let me tell you this, Cleo, the reason why old boy was probably the drummer or whoever that didn't move is because he didn't have nothing for them to rob anyway. So he wasn't tripping. So if they came to check his pockets, he didn't have nothing. That's why he wasn't moving, because he didn't have nothing. That's most people in church ain't really in there on some I got money. I mean, yeah, we know the old people in there got old money, but ain't nobody in there just like that. Like, that's it. First of all, it shines such a bad light. We talked about the Creflo Dollar thing, and you guys already know how I feel about that. But I mean, this is what scares people away from church, when you have these people in those positions doing the wrong things. And look at the times that we're in. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that these are the headlines that's getting the church like out in front of everybody right now, right? Like, it's not any other like humanitarian story or anything like that. It's, these examples of these pastors and everything. And you guys have pretty much made all the main points, the best points. So I'll just say this: like, we talk about like beef and rap, and how people shouldn't be dropping their pin. Like, people shouldn't be just talking about where they're at, all that kind of stuff. And this is a pastor who is known for wearing all of this jewelry. You're on live stream, people know where you're at. So, it's not like he made it all that difficult either. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I didn't. So this broke about a day or so ago. Apparently, he's being sued, or he apparently stole $90,000 from one of his parishioners.
Just a cool 90,000, huh?
Just a cool night. I mean, yeah. So if this doesn't like speak inside job, or something's definitely shady about this. And then like, so I dug a little deeper, and I've seen like the pictures. He, dresses very lavish out in the streets. I mean, he's having a back and forth with 50 Cent kind of thing, right? And then he has like these snake skin kind of frames on with a Yankees cap. I'm gonna go back to the Creflo. I don't want my pastor wearing a Yankees cap and snakeskin glasses. I want my pastor wearing the old derby with the feather sticking out of it and the suit that's like 4 sizes too big. That's what I want. That's how the word is pure when it comes that way. Like, he's not worried about dressing up or how he's looking out in the streets. He's going out like that. But 90,000. So I'm sure this is going to keep going on. I mean, at this point, like, the guy has a spotlight on him. I'm assuming they're digging for all kind of stuff against this guy. Any last comments about this before we move to the next one? E, you got anything?
Them ghosts always gonna come to light. That's for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Okay, so this next one is a very interesting. Very interesting. This happened in me and CB's neck of the woods last Friday. Shantari Weems. So let me give you some background on her. She owns a daycare in Owens Mills, and apparently she was getting phone calls from different parents within, I guess, a few days before what happened, whatever transpired I'm about to get to. She got calls from parents saying that her husband had been molesting their kids, these different parents' kids at this daycare. So she goes to the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, which is in DC, where he was staying at for whatever reason, and she shot him a couple times. And so the initial story was she shot him, and there was she had left a will and testament on a piece of paper, and she was not planning on coming out that room, right? Because at this point, the daycare was seized, for investigation. Like, all her stuff was crumbling, like it had been shut down. So she went and she confronted him, shot him a couple times. It took a minute to get her out the room. She did. She is in custody, and yeah, she had left a will and testament saying she went there to paralyze him at least, and to not come out that room. Now, since then, Baltimore County has brought charges on the husband. What is his name? James Weems Jr., who was a former police officer and security officer. And whatever he does now, he's armed because he had a gun in the room too, which now she's claiming self-defense because she was saying that they got into a tussle, and her shooting him was the reaction of the argument. So a lot of different things about this story, but yes, he has been charged, and he's in the hospital now. When he gets out of the hospital, they're going to take him to Baltimore County, where they're going to actually put him in custody. So let's dive into that first, and then I'll give some thoughts on that. CB, you take the lead on this one.
I mean, this is, like you said, it hits close to home because it is in the proximity, and I used to work in Owings Mills, so familiar with that spot, out there up near Baltimore and everything. So, I mean, you don't tend to feel bad for the types of people who do these types of things to kids. You know what I mean? So this is like street justice.
Yeah.
You don't really see it in real life, but this is it kind of playing out,
Right. Jade?
As a mom, I have a particularly sick spot, and there's that part of me that say, I get it. Like, it's easy to understand why she snapped. She's going to have a hard case, though, because, just being a student of law, the fact that she had a pre-written note It's going to be easy to prove that she had, premeditated intent. And while, a jury would tend to have sympathy for her, as anyone would when children are involved and an adult has done something to violate, their childhood. And that may be her only saving grace. But at the point that she went there, she had a gun. Even if she can say it was a tussle of some sort, there's too much evidence that's going to mount up against her. And I just hope that she has really, really, really good legal counsel. And I'm very familiar with that area. Matter of fact, just left Baltimore a couple of weeks ago. And it just makes you sick to your stomach. It really does, because it's just hard for me to wrap my mind around what some adult men are thinking. It's not for me to understand, but it's just sad to me that the laws are not more, like they get off too easy. To me, these should be life sentences. It should be, death penalty, the whole nine. And yet, these are some of the laws that haven't been changed over decades that still allow people to do 5 years.
Why is that one being revisited? That one should be revisited for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
E?
Well, it's one of those things. Like, you get all the bad thoughts start coming because, like I said, I wouldn't even. I'd have flew out to Maryland from LA had you told me something happened to my niece and nephew. You know what I'm saying? Or, and it's one of those things where it's almost like, she's probably like, I'll take whatever time because it was worth, you know what I'm saying, what had to happen in order for that. But and I'm going to take this just a little bit deeper because, I'm that guy, and then I'm going to get out of here. The fact is, if that's his behavior, then you might want to go back and look at all of his cases when he was a cop.
Yeah.
Right? You want to really go through his caseload and, where he, like, all his stuff that he had, any encounter with kids or minors, you know what I mean? Because, like, that's not just an automatic behavior. That's been there with him for probably a long time, probably, even before he was on the force. So you got to look at it. And then that's the other thing, how the hell you get on the force knowing you have that type of mindset? You know what I'm saying? So it goes deep. And, like, it's just, like you said, the punishment's not there. But, unfortunately, he's still living, although he going to have to live with it. He going to have to live with people knowing what he did.
Yeah, and so you can talk about the law enforcement side of it too, but you can also talk about the pedophile side of it too. So we know how they are treated in prison. That, typically, it's not good for them in prison. They have to do perhaps confined, solitary. But the fact that he was a police officer, will his former fellows in blue look after him? I'm gonna pay attention to this because I'm interested to see how it's going to turn out. And CB, when you and I on audio, I think episode 3 or 4, when we had my dad on, and I told my story. I was like, it's so funny how you go through the rigmarole of being a law enforcement officer, right? All this background check, you get on the poly, they do this, they do that. They want to make sure whoever they get there, they're looking for something throughout all that testing. But then at that point in time, we had that show, there was an officer in a local police department near here that had just been arrested because they found almost like a terabyte of child pornography on his computer. And that, just like you say, that doesn't come out of nowhere. That is habit. Right. So he made it through that whole process for however long he was a cop or whatever, and that never came up. Just amazing. But and some of the comments I was watching, you always stay in the comments to see what people got to say, because that's what makes or break, is the story interesting or not, because people will tell you, whatever. But in this one, they're like, free her, let her off, she did what was right. And I get that. That is emotion. That is feeling. That is somebody putting themselves in that situation. That's either a mom or a dad. Okay. But then the real question is, so you do let her out because it's proven that she was right. But then does that open up another door of street justice? Like, what she did, are you going to, is that allowing people to do that in that case? Can everybody just go shoot their husband for the same reason? So I don't know. It's you can't, obviously that's the law, but I mean, they should definitely be a little lenient on her, especially if they've proven that her, what she thought was true, if that's true.
There's two cases that come to mind, and unfortunately, I can't think of them. But the wife in Florida that shot the gun in the air, her husband had been abusing her for years. And look at how much time they gave her, and he wasn't even wounded, but they called that attempted murder. And then you've got, and I don't want to butcher her name. Is it Centoya? She was
Centoya
the
Brown.
sex slave. How do you go to prison for killing your abuser? So, finally, after years and years of abuse. So, I don't expect the justice system to be any more fair to her than it was towards those two women who had lengthy abusive situations. So I don't see that happening for her.
Yeah, agreed. So, episode 145, all around the world today, featuring Jade. So this is the part where we're gonna go around, actually a few questions, see what's going on within your world, and then we'll get into some unpopular opinions, and then we'll get into some Snickers, and we're done. So I'm gonna lead off because I know this is a question that, and you and I talked about. I know what kind of questions they're gonna ask. I'm gonna ask the question because I'm gonna get it out the way. So we know that you are a world traveler. You love to travel. What is, or what has been, your favorite place to travel to?
I think that is the number one question people ask, and it's so hard to pick one. I am on country 48, and certainly there's people that are out there that have done more than me. Oh man, Thailand's my happy place. Like, I really love Thailand because it's a great springboard to Cambodia, Vietnam, Singapore. It's kind of like the hub that allows you to almost like take a Southwest airline somewhere. I just love the culture there. But my second to that would have to be my most recent trip, which was Egypt. I mean, I can't even say enough about Egypt. It's one of those things that if you think it's just a photo op, so much of our history is rooted there. So much of what we don't get in textbooks here, to experience and really be engulfed in that culture. Yeah, I'd have to say Egypt right now.
Nice. Okay. ECB.
All right, CB, you got it.
To, I guess, piggyback on all the travel stuff, how do you, because to hit that many countries, that takes planning, so how far in advance, or is most of this stuff just on a whim? How are you building this flight resume up?
I was really blessed. I've been traveling since I was a toddler. My parents, this was, I don't want to sound like I had a silver spoon, but we had homes in other countries. I never remember a vacation that wasn't out of the country. My father was an Orthodox Jew. My mother was Black, and having the biracial upbringing, I think was a real blessing because I was experienced in other cultures very, very early on. I took my first solo trip when I was 17. So I've been traveling solo quite comfortably, for many, many years. And now it's just a matter of some trips are planned, like I'll plan something years in advance, and then there's some trips I'm just like, yeah, this weekend I think I'll go. So it really just depends, man. Flight prices right now.
That part.
Well,
That's
that
dope,
that
though.
was that was kind of where I was gonna lead into it. Like, is there a baseline as far as what you would consider too much, money spent on a trip, and then is there something where you're just like, is there like that medium where you've been places and say, well, I typically spend about this much. I can go here, even if it's a place that you've already been, but I guess not to be in your pocket. But what's the most expensive trip that you've taken so far?
Fiji was definitely the most expensive. But I was blessed because I actually won that trip when I was in pharmaceutical sales. So I'm not gonna lie, that one didn't come out of my pockets. But had that come out of my pockets, Vetu Lele, look it up. This was the place that Jay-Z and Beyonce, had as a private island. If that gives you any indication on what that would have run me, but no, my money wasn't running that long. I would have to say there's definitely a cap. I mean, when you go to places, especially like South America, man, you shouldn't be spending more than $700-800, to be quite honest, on trips like that because it's so cheap. Guatemala, Cancun. If you balling out in Cancun, something's wrong. Like you just shouldn't be. So let me think. South Africa was a little expensive. Johannesburg, Victoria Falls, Cape Town, because their 5-star and 4-star hotels over there, even hell, their Airbnbs, it's kind of pricey. You're never going to spend less than $1,500 plus, on an economy ticket, much less business class. So I think that I would say the further you're going, expect to pay more, and that's where you want to really put your money. But if you're on a 2 and 3 hour flight somewhere, especially if you're flying out of Miami, then that's where I tend to keep my costs down.
Nice. So let's open this up just a little bit, because you and I were talking prior to coming on, and then since we've been on, you mentioned a legal background, a first lady, and then when we were on the talking by ourselves, you talked about production, and so let's go through, like, we don't have to dive into all parts of your resume, but just tell us some things that you've done, because you mentioned at least 4. I mean, do you remember in Living Color? Do you remember in Living Color with the Headleys? They had like 8. The guy was talking about 8 jobs in one skit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just dive through some of the stuff that you've done.
I am one of those people where I can honestly say, I was never meant to work a 9 to 5 and retire and die at the same job. And when I say I'm an entrepreneur, I mean that, like, from my soul. My dad was an entrepreneur. I grew up, we owned roller skating rinks and apartment buildings and stock options. And, so I think I really inherited that from him. And my mom was the, Spelman grad, and, you give her a task, she does the task, she does the job, and, that's it. So I tried that for a little while. So I was in pharmaceutical sales for almost 10 years. After that, I started my own event company. Had one of the largest event companies in Texas. We did the Latin Grammys, the American Music Awards, and then I had a great run with that. I opened up my own gym. I had a fitness company and a meal prep company. I was blessed. After that, I moved to Florence for a year, and I decided to go back and get my master's degree because I wanted to work as a UN ambassador. And the school, I went to Gonzaga University. They offered me a deal that I really couldn't pass up, but they wanted to take their law student program and their ORGAL program, organizational leadership, and they wanted to have some crossover. So they afforded me the opportunity to go to Florence. And I did my first year of law school with the intent that I was going to, become a lawyer and, have my law degree and work for the UN. Things didn't work out. My testing ability, let me just be real candid, I totally bombed that LSAT. And you know, I just couldn't let my ego out. I guess I just didn't want to go to certain schools, but my scores weren't high enough. So then I got into TV production, and I've been producing true crime. So For My Man, Snap Behind Bars, Killer Couples, ATL, you know, a couple of things.
Wow.
And, you know, I do business consulting. I teach other entrepreneurs how to get their business from small businesses into mainframe, you know, type production. And I do have a travel company in Egypt.
Wait,
And here we are.
wait. Do you sleep at all?
Too much. I have horrible insomnia because my head is always going. Like I always have an idea for something. Always. Wow. Always.
See,
I mean-
you got a lot to ask now.
I mean,
It's all over the
that's like so impressive. You know what I mean? And Jade, I think you've kind of touched on it, talking about your dad a little bit, but could you just kind of dive into where some of this drive might come from? You know, childhood, different relationships, things like that.
I really do think the majority of it really was just watching my dad do it. You know, he made everything seem so easy. Like to me, having one business sounds crazy. It was very fluid for me to come home from school and sit at our barbecue restaurant and watch my mom make barbecue sauce while he handled phone calls because he had 10 rental properties and multitasking was just something that I learned through him. And he really taught me to operate and own and be a business owner at a really, really young age. I remember real distinctly being in Houston, I wanted something that my mom didn't want to pay for. And she was like, you got to get your own money. Okay. So I think I was like 10 and I'm like, well, I couldn't get a job. So I learned how to crochet. So I went around like making, crocheted oven mitts and I was selling it door to door. And so that was like my first task as being an entrepreneur. And it does sound like chaos, but it's organized chaos, if that makes sense. And I thrive on it. I really do. I thrive on multiple businesses. I see a niche in a market and I'm like, how do I fill it? And I've just always been that way.
That's dope.
You know what my dad gave me in his representing night? He gave me the love for print. And that's why I wanted his t-shirt. Go ahead.
I got a two-part question. One, so I heard you say Texas. I heard you say Houston. I gotta ask, did you go to an HBCU while you was down there?
I did not. Okay, so don't kill me, but I'm also an Air Force veteran. I did not want to.
Jade, no. Listen, next time you can't just throw that out there like, oh, by the way, and all that stuff that I just gave you, I'm also a veteran. Like, come on now.
It's true. It's true. Like, y'all, I was that one that went to go see Top Gun like my senior year, and I'm like, that's it. I'm flying jets. I wasn't that smart, but I did join the Air Force. And look, I was just going for the GI Bill. I just my head wasn't wrapped around school at that time. And then, damn it, Desert Storm hit, and I was stuck. So, yeah, people think I'm a lot younger, but I mean, shit, I'm 51, so I've got some time in.
Nobody
I don't believe
believes
that for a
here.
second.
Nobody believes that on here, by the way. We'll go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah, I don't. Not at all. Not at all.
No, I heard you. I heard you say Houston, Texas. I was making sure because I went to school down in Prairie View A&M, down in Texas. So
I partied down there.
Oh, for sure. I think everybody is definitely partied down in PV. But my other question is, what is the biggest misconception about traveling, whether it's alone or as if you will, a group or a couple? Because I feel like clearly, and maybe it's just me, I think that it's been a lot more, if you will, kind of black travel that's kind of been like its own kind of generated thing that's on IG now or TikTok or whatever. And it's supposed to make it look like it's easy
Yeah.
and that it's always fun and there's never a dull moment. I think one time you did show something where it was just like, yeah, this is not what it was like. I don't know if it was just bad weather or something happened. I don't know if you tripped or you was just like, look, I scratched my knee. It's just like the actual realness behind it. And I feel like sometimes they don't show that, but I feel like that's what really attracted normal people like my crew and I. We just not out here world traveling like that. We just trying to get a guy's trip to Maui sometime soon. So.
Yeah, I actually know what video you're talking about. That one was in Costa Rica, and oh my God, it was like this long walk through. It was snakes. It was, and I am horrified of stepping in swamp water and all of that. But that shot, I wanted that shot so bad. And the photographer, he goes, "We're praying for you," like in the background. And so it was too funny not to post. But people have often told me that one of the reasons why they follow me is because I'm super transparent. I'm not trying to make people think I'm sitting out here balling. I'm not. I just took my first class, flight, when I went to Egypt, and it was a blessing. And it's like I'm not trying to make people think that travel is unobtainable and unaffordable. It is very affordable, but you also have to make some sacrifices. There's certain things that I don't have and I don't do because travel is my thing. If rather have $10,000 worth of whatever sitting in your closet, I'm not mad at you, or you want to have 3 cars and a Bentley or whatever. I would rather spend my disposable income on business investments and traveling. For me, it's just more than a photo op. And the majority of my travels have been solo. So I think that what I want people to see when they come to my page, glad you love the fabulous pictures, but what I really want people to do is take a journey with me. I hope that I'm telling a story that encourages other people to say, you know what, I can go there too. If she went by herself, then, I can go by myself, or I can go with me and my girls, or me and my husband. And it encourages them to open their mind up and go. Places like Saudi Arabia, maybe not the popular places that have a stigma because of the way our media portrays it, are some fabulous places to go. I mean, how many of us are going to Switzerland? How many of us are going to, you know, um, um, maybe Ghana or some other places in Africa? And I hope that people come to my page and they see some realism, that everything's not cute. I went through the pyramids and practically passed out and broke my ankle because it was 120 degrees out there. So yeah, I want people to see travel as an experience and not just a photo op.
Look, when I look at your page, it looks like you have like the perfect 10 out of 10 trips, and you've never lost luggage, or it was never late. Like everything showed up on time. It just looks like you've done a good job capturing like the elements of your trip. So are you control of your social media? Do you like how do you handle that when you do your trips?
When you mean, do I run my own page?
Yeah, are you taking your own pictures? Do you have somebody with you that's taking pictures? Do you hand it off? Like, is your page your vision?
Um, you know, that's a whole loaded question. It was before the algorithms changed, right? I have to admit, I'm not into the videos. Like, I really like taking that one still shot, that captured the moment. Um, a lot of my photos are on a tripod, or setting my phone up, on a trash can, or in a windowsill or something like that. I definitely, places like Egypt, I did hire a photographer because you just want to capture, moments that you experience. But
Yep.
a lot of it is just setting the phone up, learning your angles, catching the right light, knowing um, what you want to capture to create a reel or whatever, but you don't need to have photographers and drones and all this other stuff. And if you do, I'm not mad at you, but I'm just not willing to travel with $2,000 worth of equipment until, Delta telling me they lost my luggage,
Right.
Well, phones nowadays are $2,000+ worth of equipment. I mean, you can do everything on your phone.
Look, this iPhone takes amazing pictures.
Exactly. I mean, it's meant to do that now.
Right.
You don't know. Stop. Why are you saying exactly? You ain't got no iPhone, sir. Stop it.
I'm just talking about these phones in general.
Yeah, okay,
they put
I'm making sure.
these six
Talking about our
six
group
cameras
chat with
on.
the green.
Yeah, you the only one with the green because of you, the Android.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, so we're already on the social media aspect, right? And so if we're researching Jade, we're on her page. We end up on a page for the Ladies of Destruction, and I feel like that's something I got to hear more about.
Ladies of Distinction.
Distinction. There we go.
That's dope. I like that. That's too
Distinction.
funny.
Yeah.
So, Ladies of Distinction, I'm so proud of this group, but it's just a group of ladies that are over 45. Our brother group is the official Classic Men. And so, they started that to basically showcase men over 45 that, not only are dressed well, but are living a lifestyle that's vibrant. I think there's a stigma that society has created that somehow life over 35 or life over, under 40 is just the it thing. But I mean, we're out here doing our thing. And it's not just it's not just a look. That's the main thing. We're doing things in the community, providing scholarships, providing mentorship. Each woman that is a part of this group really has something in her own unique right that makes her, a lady of distinction. Not just her age, not just her look. It could be something she's doing in her career, something she provides in her community. We have a poet, we have a makeup artist. We have someone that is a major, she's a PA. She came from an Air Force background as well. And so I think that what we just want to show people is that it's not just gray hair and old folks over a certain age. Like, we out here killing the damn game. And so that's what this group is about.
That's incredible.
You see what you started with that?
I mean, I knew Katapa would like that.
Google safe search.
You knew Katapa would like that one.
Yeah, we might have to come up with a whole photo shoot. Ladies of Destruction.
There you go.
That would be incredible.
Right. So another 2-part, real easy though. Worst airport, and then also worst TSA experience.
Ooh.
That's a good one. My worst TSA experience was definitely in Miami. I was traveling with someone. God bless my friend. Last name was Hafiz, Abdul Hafiz. And he was on a no-fly list just based on his last name at the time. And we were traveling together on that particular trip, got detained at the airport for 17 hours just because of his last name, guilty by association. And it was the most miserable experience of my life. Like, the pat down in places that they just felt like they shouldn't have been patting. No food, no water, just no fly, sit here in the room. And that was definitely my worst TSA experience. Worst airport, I'm sorry. All love for ATL, but I hate Hartsfield. It is like the ghetto of airports. I hate to say that. Like, their TSA doesn't even open until after 8 o'clock. Who does that in an international airport, right? The people that work in the restaurants, like the shops close early. It's ghetto. I'm sorry. I hate Hartsfield. I said it. Sorry, my people.
We're getting ready to transition in a second. I'm gonna close this portion out. do you know if Spirit goes to any of these places that you mentioned? Spirit Airlines.
They do. Like, yo, no lie. Spirit Airlines, JetBlue, Allegiant Airline, well, not Allegiant, and Southwest. They go to over 15 different countries.
Wow.
Like, look, truth be told, like that's where you're gonna get some of your cheapest flights. Just know what you're getting into when you get on the plane. That's all.
Yeah. But my real question is, my real question, what's a typical like day in your life like? And you named a lot of things that you're in charge of, along with being a mom, stuff like. So what is your typical day from start to finish?
Let's see. Right now, I have to get up around 6 or 6:30 because I have to walk Lady Coco Chanel Paris, which is the puppy.
That's
And
an
then
incredible name.
she's such a diva. Um, and then I'd like to tell you that I'm in the gym. I was, but I have, been out for a little minute. But normally I would go to the gym. I definitely get up with meditation and prayer. And then I'm blessed. I work from home. I am on this computer like from sun up to sundown. Whatever I'm doing, Zoom conference calls. My entire day then centers around getting my son to football practice, who's now driving, thank God. And from sun up to sundown, my communications are through the airwaves. And so I'm really blessed to have time to myself that, I can take those moments. I don't care how busy I am in my day. I'm going to get some me time in, whether it's an hour or 30 minutes. But that is my typical day, and when I say I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I really am.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We did give you some homework assignment. Look, E gave me your answers, so I'm gonna put them up. But typically, we ask everyone their top 3 movies and top 3 albums of all time. So we're gonna start with your movies.
All right.
These are interesting because I think we've only had one of these said on the show. So, but yeah, go through your movies.
All right. I have very distinct reasons for each one. So I'm going to go backwards. Meet Joe Black. I don't know if anyone has seen it. It totally flopped in the movie theater. But when I tell you the dialogue in this movie was it's like, it's a beast. Like, look up the quotes in this movie and it's moments that make you go, oh, did he say that? Like, William Parrish was my father. Like, William Parrish is Ira Gold. And I've seen this a million times, but at the end of the movie, when he walks off with death, I am blubbering tears because William Parrish is my dad. So this is just one of my favorites. Death is depicted as a person, and I love it. Color Purple, come on, we all know. It's just a classic. It was snubbed in every Oscar nomination, but some of the best acting you will ever see on screen. I think that it's something as a woman that I deeply connected with. Suge was my favorite character. I mean, she just had such a soulful presence about her, and yet she had a very deep story with her father. With me, it was with my mom, looking for that approval. And so I love this story forever and ever. And it's coming back out again. I'm so excited. And What Dreams May Come, another deep one. Robin Williams, is married to his soulmate, and he is fatally killed in a car crash. And the entire movie, again, is about him. And then she kills herself in a suicide. And he spends the entire movie going through hell to get back with her. And, the characters, Cuba Gooding, Junior is in it. Again, just some brilliant acting, but great metaphors, both from the Christian realm, as we know, kind of from a biblical standpoint, and yet such a poignant story. It's a 3-hour movie. I like these long movies, but just another favorite of mine. So if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth watching.
Nice. You sold those movies. If anybody haven't seen those, go check them. And albums. Now, I think all 3 of these have been mentioned before, but go for it.
I mean, come on,
These are
y'all.
good
I
ones.
mean, I'm not saying I look like Sade, but that's my girl. You know, this is what can I say? Sultry, sexy, classic. She could sell out a stadium today, just like Tina Turner. She never has to make another new song. It's Sade for life. So I'm Team Sade. Purple Rain. You know, I was the one that had the fold-out magazines. You know, back in the day with the posters in it. You know, I had Prince on the wall. Again, just a genre of music that I'm sure we can all identify with. He was ahead of his time. You know, Little Red Corvette, 19. Come on, classics. I wanted to do something that wasn't everybody's pick, but it just is what it is. And Michael Jackson.
You can't argue though. You can't argue these albums though. That's
Right.
the thing.
No, and Michael Jackson. Look, my parents sat with me in Houston, Texas, at the Astrodome for 19 hours to get those Victory Tour tickets, and I'll forever love them for that experience because I was 4 rows back from the stage, and I slept on the concrete, so I was a real one. Like back in the day, I was. Oh God, I even tried to get a Jerry curl. Can you imagine? Like.
Oh,
I tried to put a Jerry curl in my hair. It was a horrible fail, but yeah, I'm Team Mike.
look, you can't go wrong with any of those albums. Those are classics.
Yeah.
And look, as we transition, we do want to thank you. We're not going anywhere yet, but just want to thank you for joining us again tonight. Look, we'll give you all the because you could be doing anything else. There's obvious you could be doing something else tonight, but you're sitting in with us for a little bit of time, and we appreciate you. But I tell you what we also appreciate this weekend is look DC Shot Pie. Look, save 10%. Get yourself a DC Shot Pie. WRC10. That's our code. And look, if you never had DC Shot Pie, look, this is a black-owned business, Chicago deep dish pizza. And Jade, let me tell you. So look. We had Grant on the show last week before last. Look, great guy. There's a steak and cheese deep dish. There's a salmon pesto. There's like a sausage pepperoni. They just unveiled like the DC Wharf, which is crab meat, shrimp, fried onions, beer cheese. They also got desserts. I mean, there's like bread pudding. There's the gyro pizza. There's the fried chicken and mambo sauce pizza. Wow. And it's just, I mean, just amazing. So
insane.
DC Shot Pie. I was born in Chicago, so I know that's some good pizza.
And look, if you're ever in the area, make sure let us know. We'll hit up Grant so you can do the comparison. Everybody has to do the comparison, just to let's see how close Grant is, and then from here, it's all downhill.
Oh man, that part never gets old.
That's why it's still there.
Yep.
That's why I haven't moved.
Yep.
Okay. So Jade, this is the part
Jade.
that.
Brace yourself.
Oh come on, it's not that bad. Okay, so Jade, this part of the show is a segment we call "Is It Just E?" It's contained my kind of an unpopular opinion, or I just say the things that I feel that other people just won't say because they just won't say it. So one of the more controversial things that I've said on this podcast that has people up in the roar is that I stated that lemon pepper wings are trash.
Blasphemy.
Man, see, Jade, I thought we was working. We was right here, and then you just had to go and some other stuff like and it was so popular that I put it on a t-shirt and everybody ran with it, and they kind of out and about. Because again, it's controversial. I think the biggest one or the one next is probably going to be how do you eat an Oreo cookie, right? If you don't tear the cookie apart, and if you eat it just straight up, I consider you a serial killer. So again, there's just certain things that I feel about just day-to-day stuff. Now,
Okay.
This one's gonna be controversial. It's all right. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. Recently, yeah. So recently, there was a song that came out by a group called Division, and it was very. It's a catchy song for all the wrong reasons, and it got me to thinking that as music people or people that love music, we have listened to songs probably at certain times and really be singing these songs, and they be some really terrible songs to really sing. Like after you really look at the lyrics, some really terrible songs. So I had to get Cleo on this one so I can make this stick. And one of the things was there's a lot of songs, and it wasn't just guys. See, I didn't want it to be a bashing of guys. I didn't want it to. It's this equal opportunity of everybody who's had a song, who's been out there, and it's just completely not even. We shouldn't even be partying to the song, but we are. It's either the melody, the beat, whatever. And I'll first start off with this first group. These are the lyrics right here that's on my face that I try to move away from. But it's gonna pop up all
It's
over.
gonna cover you.
This is SWV's. You're the one for me. The very first lyric that she sings is, "I know that you're someone else's guy." Already, we didn't even have to get warmed up. Like, she just hit us with the very first lyric. This is what I'm thinking. I want you even though you with somebody else. Okay? The next one, Jaheim. This song is called Hush. The whole entire process of this song is about how he is crushing his best friend's girl. And it's a catchy song because the name of it is Hush. And he's talking about all these things that I can't do because that's my homie, but I can't just get over the fact that I want you. All right? So then we go to the fatal next one. This one was tough because this one was everybody was singing this song back in the day.
I sing this one in the shower.
This is Escape, Little Secret. She literally says, like, being in the same room with your girlfriend, the fact that she don't know, it really turns me on. This is toxic as hell. Quintuple, leave me alone. I'm not done. All right. So this is, and I figured, like, come on, like, that's blatant. Where else can we go with that? The next one is Dramatics, and I believe this one was, I can't remember. I thought I wrote it down. I really wish he didn't trust me so much. That is a dude singing about his homeboy trusting him to the point where he shouldn't trust him with his own girl. But here we are. These are songs that our parents, we play at weddings, we play all over the damn place, and we jam into these songs. And then last but not least, this is the song that really kind of put it all together. The Division song, literally the title name is If I Got Caught Cheating. Literally saying that just because I got caught cheating doesn't mean I don't love you. And I mean, it blew up. It was a thing where everybody was like, why would you say something like that? There's so many other ones. There's the, there's the Me and Mrs. Jones song. There's so many songs out there that we grew
My
to.
favorite one. Let's do Layla. Let's talk about Layla. Eric Clapton.
Oh God, yeah.
All of those. I mean, these are almost popular songs or songs that we listen to that we just bypass the lyrics and what it means, and we jam into them. Nah, it definitely ain't personal. Trust me, at no point in time. None of this. Now, but if we want to be honest to the truth, yeah, I've been cheated on before. But I'm saying, like, here we are having different conversations about it, but it's like being glorified within the music. So,
My Little Secret rocks. It does. You're right. You do sing the lyrics of a lot of these songs, and the song could be the worst song in the world, but if it's got a catchy tune, you're gonna rock it, especially if it gets you through a workout.
I'm over it. So again, the segment was just about basically Is It Just E or all
There
these
you go.
damn songs? Yes, all of these songs. I'm saying it's endless, but the fact of the matter is, like, we be jamming to these songs, and then you really like kind of have that moment. You be like, damn, that's really that's not. I probably don't want to. I shouldn't be singing this, but I am because it's catchy. So,
Jade, do you have
is
a
it gonna?
guilty pleasure song?
Yes.
You know what? I can't even like one isn't coming to mind, but I just think about like the genre of female rappers now. You know, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B. You know, Sweetie, Swati, however she says her name. Um, you know, the lyrics that they're singing are something that you typically just heard men singing about. You know, and now it's like all of those songs become guilty pleasures, you know, because they have great bass, great tunes, you know, they definitely get you through the workout. But then when you start thinking about the lyrics, it's like, damn, did I just say that? Like, I mean, you know,
I've seen somebody's grandmother dancing the WAP at a cookout.
yeah, you know,
Don't even know what
I'm
it
like,
means, but you know.
Stop it.
I
It's
mean,
true.
y'all, like, let's keep it 100. You remember when Tank, when we came out? How many dances did we see off of this song? Like,
Absolutely. That's a good point.
you know, like, look, we're not even trying to hide what we're talking about here. It's just like, you know.
And real quick, one thing you missed. Usher's Confessions, the whole album about just confessing he cheated. And that was one of the greatest albums I've ever heard in my life. It's an amazing album.
Right.
So you're right. I mean, just
right.
guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasures.
Where are we at now, CB? All right, Jade. This is the portion of the show where we talk about sneakers. Our second love, sneakers. And since E is not ready yet, and I haven't done this in a very long time. I like to run the intro back to me, I guess, a couple of times. Just to let everybody know what we're about to get into.
It's sneaker time.
Exactly. I'm buying time for you, but he'll catch up. All right. So, CB, what's up with the copper drop?
All right. So, Jade, this is the segment of the show where we're going to talk about a sneaker that's releasing sometime soon, and whether we like it, we don't like it. If we have the opportunity, would we cop? Would we drop it? Is it not coppable? But we've got a pair of Air Jordan 3s. They're calling these the Desert Elephant, and these are a Saturday release. They got a price tag of $200. It's going to be a sneakers drop. You can also check some of the other, like the Foot Locker app. Some of these other apparel websites and stuff are doing releases too. But they're a pair of 3s. You can tell that they are inspired by the black cement colorway. You can tell that there are definitely some nods there, which is arguably the greatest 3 colorway of all time. I think it's up for debate. But what are you guys feeling as far as these? Are these a cop or a drop?
Drop. I said that quick.
Yeah, I would only drop it on the price, but I would have to give it a cop because it's like I'm neutral tones, and it's like I could rock those with a couple of different outfits, and so I really like the neutral tones. It has a little bit of a combat boot feel to it, so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and rock them.
Okay. E.
When do these drop again?
Saturday.
No, these are a drop because Yeezy Day is right after that. Nah, I can't get with the colorway for me. Maybe because in my mind the 3s are always the elephant print, and then maybe the white OG white and red. So I can't get with these.
Now I didn't pay attention, but CB, is the brown portion, is that elephant print just brown now without the basic elephant? Actually, hold on, let's blow it up. No,
Yeah.
it's leather.
Yeah, it's leather.
Okay, so let me do it. Drop. Make it more official. All right. Okay. So here we are. Shoe and tell. This is where we bring shoes to the show that we want to spotlight. Something that's in the collection. Something you haven't you rocked or you haven't rocked yet. We've shown plenty of shoes that we haven't necessarily worn yet. And may have just got in. So Jade, as the guest, you get to decide if you want to go first or last in the shoe and tell.
I will go first, and I'm a heels girl all the way, and I was going to bring my Christians out, but in the spirit of keeping with the teeny genre, I'm bringing out the faves. So
Hey.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep.
I
love that colorway.
Yep, that's a dope colorway.
Okay.
It's yeah, and I didn't really get into the whole color gang, but my son really kind of talked me into it because he was like, "Well, look, Mom, it'll go with that Nike hoodie," and I'm like, "Look, as long as I can make it pairs up." I had
there you go. There you go. Now I'll go next, and I'm typical one of those people where, and me and CB talk about this all the time. My shoes necessarily don't have to match anything I'm wearing. It could be all over the place because my shoes are outfit itself. I'm that type of sneaker. My shoes are the outfit itself, and what I'm wearing is completely separate. But in spirit, me and CB, we obviously work together, and CB started this kind of no repeat kind of shoe days at work where we're just going to see how long we can go. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, the days we're in office, where we can wear shoes without repeating them. And CB, what was today? 42?
It was 46.
46. So today was 46, the 46th day without repeating shoes. And so this is obviously giving me an opportunity to dig deep and show and wear things that's in my collection, but also now show things that I know I haven't shown before. So we're going to go with this box. Everybody knows this box. This week was a LeBron week, and it just turns out that I have a few pairs of LeBrons where I can wear throughout for a whole week. So I wore these. These are green. This is not black. This is green. These are the Miami Hurricane colorway. And my camera's turned it black, but it's really green. I promise you, it's like what's that? FAMU. It's the Hurricanes FAMU colorway. There you go.
FAMU. Those are dope.
Yeah. So, and these were I can't remember what year these came out, but yeah, keep them in boxes, keep them good. A lot of people hit me up in my DMs. I haven't seen those in years. Well, there you go.
Tell them we wear our shoes, by the way.
We wear them. Yep. I forgot I had them, so I had to wear them. And the whole time I'm praying that they don't fall apart.
So if you know that, if you see that color, then you know where I'm coming at it, and the affinity for myself and Cleo about this colorway of this shoe.
Oh, there you go.
See, look, we were on the same wavelength.
There you go.
Yes, had to have them. These go back to our football days, our ESPN, where our colors were the bolt green, black, and I think it was blue at the time. But had to get a pair, and they actually have a dark lace in here, and the other one is a white. But I think I'm gonna put the cell shoelaces in there, to kind of offset it, and it's also got almost a cracked leather on the neon part. It's a cracked leather on there, so for sure, definitely a cop. I got to spray these before I put them on.
B, what's good, bro? Next week, Soul Tales. Go ahead, CB.
So keeping in the spirit of just hanging out in the DC area, we got another pair of New Balances. And we have a pair of the 2002R Protection Pack. This is the Mirage Gray colorway. So it's kind of got like a deconstructed look to it. Like it looks like the sole is aged, even though I've only worn it like 2 or 3 times, but that's just how it comes out. Kind of got like an aged midsole.
Yep,
so, but yeah, these were on my list of sneakers I wanted to cop in 2022, regardless of the colorway. So
yeah,
these were a good price. Had to do it. So
dope. Hey, look. Before we get out of here, we got maybe 1 or 2 more pieces of business that we need to do. But go ahead and look. Promote yourself, Jay. Where can we find you? What's your social media, website?
First of all, Best place is on both TikTok and Instagram at I am Jade Gold. It's always the same. Those are the best places to find me and reach me. Several different websites, but it's just too many to go through at this point. So those are the best places to reach me. And you can always find links in my bio to each one of my different companies. So
Dope. Dope. All right. So before we get out of here, we got one more thing to do. It's something we just kind of added to the show. It's real quick. So I'm in my car the other day, and I look over to the left, and it just goes to show you how hard times are and where we are with these gas prices. So this is what I saw. Yeah, I was shocked myself too when I saw that.
Is that the new Toyota? What is that?
What?
Barney Rubbleback, like
exactly.
hard.
That was like a Flintstone kind of thing, and it was. So if
Wow.
in the comments, look, it's only a 20-second video. I think they clocked her at like 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
She was in the middle lane too to make
She
sure.
was balling.
Like she was
Go
she was-
around.
right. She was like, listen, the slow lane is not for me, right?
He's not much out. Hey, look, I can't help it. Look, but look, everybody, like, subscribe to videos. Thanks for everybody for watching. Again, Jay, we appreciate you for spending time with us.
I love it
on a Thursday evening. That's it. Soul Tales next week. So we don't have episode 146 next week. Will be Soul Tales. And Jade, that's our all sneaker show. We got a panel, everybody. It's like 6-7 of us, and we get up here and it's all shoe talk, sneaker news. You'd be surprised how much sneaker news happens within the times we shoot that show. But that's it. That's all we got. Stay in the room. We wrap up after we get out of here. But that's it, y'all. We are something else.
Peace.
All around the world today.